Welcome back. Today we're making this adorable baby zebra cake. I wanted the inside of the cake to be just as fun as the outside, so I made some zebra cake layers. To create this fun marbled look, you just drop alternating vanilla and chocolate batter into your cake pan, and then once you cut in, it looks like beautiful, gorgeous zebra stripes. I built the zebra cake on a 1/2-inch thick cake drum just because the cake gets a little bit heavy with all the cake layers and buttercream, and that really makes it a lot easier to transfer in and out of the fridge. As you're building and frosting your cake layers, it's a great idea to kind of get down and squat to make sure your cake layers are all level and aligned, because it's easier to adjust this as you go than to try to do it once all your cake layers are stacked. Here I'm using a 7-inch cake layer, 2 6-inch cake layers, one that's been trimmed with a serrated knife, and then a 4-inch cake layer to build our zebra's body. Once I've covered this in a thin layer of frosting to act as a crumb coat, I smooth it out using an acetate sheet, then pop it into the freezer to let that firm up for about 5 minutes. I've also inserted a clear bubble tea straw into the center of the cake to act as a support, and this is going to help give our cake stability. It's a pretty tall cake and it's sculpted, so you want to make sure that you have some type of support in your cake, whether it be a bubble tea straw or a wooden dowel. To build the head, I'm using a 4-inch cake layer, 2 6-inch cake layers, and then one curved cake layer that I baked in a domed cake pan. Once I crumb coated the head into place, I chilled the cake one more time, and then set to work on adding our zebra's legs. I used some chocolate Rice Krispies to make them, and this is just an equal mixture of Rice Krispies and mini marshmallows. Once I melt them together, I compact them in my hands really firmly to give them a really nice solid shape that will be easy to frost. After I added on the bottom legs, I covered my cake in a second thicker layer of frosting, and there's a method behind this madness. I wanted to add on the gray buttercream for my zebra's kind of muzzle and his little tummy, and my arms are going to go over the tummy, so I wanted to add that and get that all frosted before I added on the upper arms. Sometimes your Rice Krispie arms can stick in place if your Rice Krispies are still warm, but if they have cooled off, you can add on a little bit of extra buttercream to help them stay in place. I used an acetate sheet to get the frosting on those nice and smooth, and then I added some black buttercream to create the zebra's hooves. Then I added on the fondant facial features, which include some eyes, some little nostrils, and of course the zebra's ears. The zebra cake looked a little bit cursed before I added on the stripes, but luckily, with a little bit more black frosting, the zebra started to really take shape. The finishing touch, as always, was to add on a little party hat. And just like that, our zebra cake is complete. I loved his little mane down the back of his head and that little smile on his face. I wanted to cut in and show you guys what those zebra cake layers look like on the inside, so here's a little peek. I colored mine just with baking cocoa, but if you wanted them to be black, you could add some gel food coloring or use black cocoa powder. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and until next time, happy baking!